I have put together a 3 helpful tips for you guys on how to navigate high school, and I really want you to take away from them. So my first tips is people are mean. Like I was explaining in my previous, people will be mean to you. And it wasn't just on myself. I feel like it helps you to have a support system because you need somebody there to maybe help you and tell you that, people are going to be mean. It's all right. Just let it go over your shoulder. Don't give them the satisfaction and feed into their, bullying, because bullying was a really big issue for me because, like I said, no one really understood it. I feel like it's very good to have someone train you how to have a formal conversation with even somebody you may not know, because I feel like your peers would be more accepting, but it's also through people that you don't. My second tip is make people aware. Whether it's your friends, peers, members. Like I was stating earlier, there was a lack of knowledge of TS, especially in my area. When I got connected to the TAA, I brought in all the paperwork. They give you in a big packet. They also give you an educator's guide and a parent guide. And I brought that. I brought one to each of my teachers, and they all, willingly read it. And I was sort of happy about it because they understood and they knew, if anybody was to mess with me, or if they saw, something out of the ordinary, that I was okay. I usually, if you don't have an educator's guide, every year, a little tip, I usually write a letter to my new teachers, whether it's at the beginning of every semester, because you usually have 2 sets of teachers. I usually write a letter at the end of my semester, at the beginning of my semester, to all my new teachers, explaining, about TS and what it is, just in case they didn't know or understood. My third tip is create calm down mechanisms. This will help you, especially during maybe times of test taking, finals. Your tics can flare up due to very difficult. And whenever I would do anything related to math or numbers or tests, I get really freaked out, and I'd started having like a little tic episode, but I couldn't really help it. So that's why I've always struggled in math. I'm really good in other subjects, but I just hate math because I don't know, it just does something to me. But creating calm down mechanisms, for example, trying to make your tic going to something else, or think happy thoughts. Or maybe counting. I know a couple of my Tourette friends, they like to count to calm themselves down, sort of to take a breather. So it's always good to create calm down mechanisms so you can calm down. Natalie?
Thank you, Jordan. That's really great tips. A few people, I was trying to look at the chat, some people said that they like to write, I think, pamphlets for their teachers. So I think some people were listening and really loved some of the tips that you gave them. I'm going to move it now to Hayley. I can just move the slide. And she's going to talk a little bit about her experiences with high school and then share some of the tips that she has for you guys.
Hi, everybody. My name is Hayley. I am 24 today, actually. And I graduated from high school in 2015. My tips for high school would be, first of all, just like Jordan said, make sure you communicate with your teachers at the beginning of every semester. What I would do was go and talk to each teacher at the beginning of the semester and just tell them a little bit about myself, about how I have Tourette's, and what I explained to them what I needed from them. I would tell them I also struggled with math, mainly because of the timing situation. A lot of teachers seem to like to time you on your quizzes and tests and that kind of thing. And that for some reason gives me extreme anxiety. So I would tell them like, hey, I need some extra time on my quizzes or tests or whatever. And they would be very willing to help me out because I told them ahead of time and let them know. I never had a single teacher that wasn't willing to work with me. Number 2 would be keep yourself organized. For me, yes, I have tics, but for me, the tics weren't always the main issue. Mine were more on the muted side, understated. You couldn't really tell, and I got really good at hiding them because they were just kind of like shoulder shrugs, like blinking things, like some clearing throats, that kind of stuff. So for me, the most impactful part of having Tourette's is the OCD aspect. I have extreme OCD. I always have my, it got really bad in high school because I was overwhelmed. And so I found the best way for me was to keep a planner. And for me, it's like a book planner, but it could be a wall calendar, a little pocket planner, even just a notebook that you keep with you, and you write down like your daily tasks, your weekly tasks, your monthly tasks. And that way you have everything straight, and it really appeases my anxiety to be able to cross off different tasks that I completed. So like if I had an assignment that's due at the end of the week, to be able to mark that off of my calendar is very appealing for my OCD and like my anxiety. So keep that up to date. That has been my biggest thing, is to keep a planner, to keep yourself organized, because I have all these thoughts in my head that are always running around, and it's easy for me to get overwhelmed because I have a lot of ADD as well. So writing it down and getting it all in one spot on paper was the best for me. And then finally, my third tip is to find just a core group of friends, and don't worry about being a part of some sort of group, whether it's, the popular kids or the jocks or whatever. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be a part of that group. No one's going to care about that when you're older. I graduated college, and when I was in college, no one cared about that. So it really is only in your mind when you're in high school that matters, but it doesn't. If you find a couple of good friends that you can surround yourself with, that is life-changing. That is what I remember from high school the most, was my group of friends that always had my back. They were the friends that I told about my Tourette's, and I felt comfortable with them. I felt confident around them. I knew that they always had my back. And I was friends with pretty much everyone in high school because I'm a social person. I can get along with pretty much anyone. But I just had that small group of friends that I trusted, and it really, like I said, is the highlights of my high school experience. I look back fondly on those memories that I have from being with that group of friends, and I'm still friends with them to this day.
Thank you, Hayley. Those are really great tips. And I can echo about, having a good group of friends in high school and still being friends with them. I think if you can find that, that's really great.